starboard position and
Putting your travel.
What
Are the club boats got white sails, are they?
They often have for club racing,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Got
Okay,
other
so
shows for
maybe it's the sails.
competition.
maybe, yeah.
Typical things will be about not having the right amount of kicker on.
Okay.
It's quite, if you've got a breeze, then it's quite often that you've not got enough on, which is just not giving you the power. And it won't give you power and it won't give you pointing ability either. So you're losing on both counts.
It could be like Andy was saying in the first week as well, that you think you've got your mainsail pulled in as tight as you can, but actually you could get a bit more out of it. That could be one of the things that you're not quite so high.
You're talking about the point where if you want to get up to speed, one of the solutions to that is to ease it off a bit.
I've been I have
And
to
then-
bear away to
and
try,
then-
because I've been watching the speed.
And then once you're up
and
to
the speed's
speed, then
been
you
maybe
put
falling
obviously
slightly and I'm
normal.
trying to point it higher, so I have had to bear away. Speed's picked up slightly, then tried to harden up again. And it's fell away again, had to bear away again, so I just I was wondering if there's something that I'm doing wrong there, or if there's something that we should be doing better.
I've noticed, I mean, we change around roles in the boat quite a lot, and I've noticed that we all have different ways of sailing. If you're inclined to pinch, to always be pointing a little bit and just luffing a little bit, 707s it's quite detrimental. So always feel that you want to be feeding the boat with plenty of wind. So don't, if you are, you know, and actually it's one of those things I suppose if you've come from dinghy sailing where, you know, you can be overpowered, so actually you might be inclined to easing the jib off and pinching a little bit. Just don't do it with the 707s, it really does knock you backwards.
The other thing is, if you mentioned going along behind them, I mean, you'd inevitably be in some dirty air.
Yeah.
Because of the proximity of the boat immediately ahead, so preferably don't be directly behind somebody, you know, be maybe a couple of boat lengths to windward. And then you can properly gauge your progress if you've got the two boat lengths sailing there.
Then we can get into boat tuning tips and all sorts of stuff, which we won't get to.
We can go back to the worst starts.
Yeah, let's have the worst times.
I think the one that I remember best actually is the port end flyer option. And there was a much bigger line than that, with quite a lot of boats, probably about 50 boats coming along there. And we thought we would just come along and sneak in here and tap just underneath this boat, and then we would just simply push up a little bit. That was the plan. And the reason we were there was because, anybody guess? Why did we were there in the first place? Because we were late in getting off the ship. I can't remember why. Were we hungover, or had we capsized coming off the beach? It could have been either. But we got there, and now we got to this point here where Peter here in this boat pulled his sails in, shouted at us to keep out of his way. We had to tap to get out of his way there, and round about 50 boats sailed over the top of us. So that was a good one, and I don't think we ever recovered from that. So good reason for not coming in at the port end, and for not being late off the beach, and getting there in a position where you can be one of these happy boats sailing straight across the line on starboard and heading off into the distance. So, your turn, Neil. Favourite worst
that
start?
Nationals at Granton where there was about 3 boats. I was coming up for a half decent start on the pin. Not great, but good for me. But there was a couple of boats over, and they were all. I think Braveheart was one of them. And you all came back, and you all started to come back and going, "Oh, no, starboard port or whatever." There's about 3 boats here, and suddenly this lovely start that I thought I had wasn't there. I had to bear away to duck that one, and then I couldn't make the mark, and then suddenly it was all anyway. Suddenly we were at the back, but it was.
Was that the last race by any
Yes.
chance? Yeah.
So why did you bear away to duck the ones that were just coming on?
Well, the ones that are over don't have any rights whatsoever, because they can't do that. But there was 3 of them, so it was, you know, at the end of the day, to avoid a collision, you just have to take avoiding action, and that was the end of that.
Been been bullied into safety.
But the reason, I mean, we were over the line on that race. I'm not sure if we were the ones that.
Oh,
I
it
don't
must
think
have
so.
been you.
I don't think so. But our friend who was sitting here, Mr. Marshall, had come sailing in on port and tacked underneath the boat immediately below us, and luffed everybody hard. So he took us over the line. Now, as far as I was concerned, he'd fouled the boat below, but the boat below didn't complain. So we were over, and Andy was over, and the boat in between. So Andy did this lovely spin round the mark and headed off into this gap.
That he thought.
That was the one I was supposed to be sailing off in. So
Sounds
that was
like
annoying.
Just grabbed the space.
Yeah.
I was talking to Andy in the bar when we were met in Stockbridge, but one of the things he was saying that the starts early on in the series are definitely, you try to get clear air. He said he wasn't trying to start near Stewart or other competitors, and you get a better percentage of start if you start next to somebody slower than you. We had an expression for it, but but it was so sometimes you go, oh look, I'm starting next to Stewart, that's good. That's probably not good. That's because you might find yourself.
It's worthwhile bearing in mind in mixed fleet racing the differences between the boats, because if you're, say, alongside a bigger but slower boat and you're underneath them, you're never going to get past them because it's just a big blanket. So bearing in mind what others, and it's like, picking on somebody that you think is slower than you to then be able to get away and get clear. So whilst you might not have clear air for the first 5 seconds, as soon as you've started, actually you're going to be off and away.
The last race of the series, pretty much anything goes. I think it's much more aggressive. Andy was saying he would, do whatever. If that was.
There was a lot. I mean,
if
there
that's
was a lot
the
riding on
difference,
that last
it was
race,
on.
wasn't there? I mean, it was literally a couple of points in it.
Yes,
and
yeah, yeah.
It was almost like,
Who won?
take you to the back of the fleet and do it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was very, very close.
I'll tell you about the best start that I can ever remember that's in my head, and I'll have to give my dad credit for this, which is really unusual. We used to race down in the southwest, and it was tidal, and they had fixed wooden posts in the mud, which was a fixed start line. So every race was always fixed start line, guns, cannons, all sorts of stuff. Some days you'd be setting off on a beat, some days you'd be